Alright, here we go, my friends. Welcome back. Welcome to Battletoads. This is my first playthrough of Battletoads. It's been a long first playthrough. I've never beaten it yet. I've made it as far as level 9. That's the furthest I've seen in the game. So, please don't spoil anything for me about what's after that, because I'd like to discover how many levels there are and what they're like. I'd like to discover for myself as I play. If you would let me do that. But come along on the journey. Watch how I do, and watch and see the learning process and all of its glory. Have fun. Thank you. Thank you, Micah. I do enjoy this game. It's rough. There are definitely parts I struggle with, but it's a very satisfying game. It's a lot of fun when you like figure a part out and then start to do pretty well at it. Oh, I'm starting off bad. Get that guy out of here. No, he's got behind me somehow. I'm stuck in an endless loop. Oh, that was disgusting. This is the run, Mile Hyrule says. Mile Hyrule, I'm so glad you're still with us. I thought Taz might have done you in. It almost did me in. Beat before sleep, please. Oh, I'd love to. Mile Hyrule. Ooh, I'm starting off really rough, though. Okay. As long as I don't die, there's still potential to turn things around. Yeah. Oh, Taz is bad. Taz is so bad. It's gonna be Taz. Taz might turn out to be one of the worst games I've ever 100%ed. We finished that level, yeah. I still have one level left. We have to do it one more night. We're on the last level now. So next week, Sunday or Monday, we'll beat it. I don't know if there'll be a Sunday stream. So if there's a Sunday stream, we'll probably do Taz then. If there's not, then Monday, definitely. I was showing those birds who's boss. That felt good. I usually don't manage to juggle them so much. Oh, no. They were receiving my Taz aggression. So, why? Robot, come on. Oh my goodness, there's another one? There's 3 of them? What? I thought there were only 2. Oh, One nasty surprise after another. Ooh. They just knocked me back and forth like a tether ball. I thought that they were gonna... I thought they were gonna cut my rope while I went down there for the fly. They got me. They got me. I've been killed. I did real bad with those birds. Silver robot. Oh, get out of here. Alright, here we go. We made it. Turbo Tunnel. I spilled cola on myself. I'm a mess. Hey Nado, welcome in. Great to have you here with us. Frownie and crew, what's up? It's the Dark Souls of Frog games today. It sure is. It sure is. I just finished a level in Taz. Oh boy. I just finished a level in Taz for the first time. I mean, I'm playing. Well, they're all finished for the first time. My brain is scrambled. I just finished another level in Taz Munching Madness on the Game Boy Color. It was 3 hours of suffering and misery. It was awful. It was the worst. So I'm very happy to now be playing a fun game, even though this game is brutal. Well, it was another 3 hours of misery. It's the longest level yet. It's a 9-level game. I've completed 8 levels so far. Every level's taken me like 2 hours, but tonight's took me 3. It was the worst one yet. I mean, they're not huge levels. You gotta understand. I was trying. It's like, imagine, like you're playing Mario 64 and you're going for one of the stars and it takes you an hour to pick it up. Oh, it's rough. I give a shout out there for Natto, my friends. If you haven't checked out his stream, we raid Natto all the time. I feel like we try to raid him very frequently. He's got a great stream. He does a lot of retro stuff. He likes a lot of the same kind of stuff I like, Ninja Gaiden, and something that he's working on right now. He likes to challenge himself with retro games. He's playing Zelda 2 as well. We've watched him do One of the Nintendo 64 Zeldas. Did you do Ocarina or Majora recently? I know I was watching you play one of them. I don't remember which one. I've been watching people do both of them. But definitely give Nato a follow. You'd be doing yourselves a favor. Thanks for the shout out. I would be super slow for sure. I almost beat Ninja Gaiden twice last night, but I blew it as well. No. You'll get it. You'll get it. Just hang in there. I have every confidence in you. Hey, Sparrow, welcome in. You've come in at a good time, Sparrow. I mean, I wish I had you here earlier because I was really struggling, but you saved yourself a lot of agony by skipping out on by missing out on Taz. Boy, it was rough tonight. That Taz game nearly had me in tears. I'm so happy to be playing Battletoads. You know, I can't express it. Better late than never then. Yeah, Battletoads is a lot of fun. I've heard that this is like the hardest NES game. I don't know if it's like... I feel when you talk about like what's the hardest game on a console, I was saying this the other night, you kind of have to have two categories, right? Because there are games that are just, they're unplayably bad and like that makes them super hard. But there are also games like Battletoads is super hard, but it's fun and worth playing. Played some Sonic 3 last night for the first time in 30 years. That was rough. The Sonic games I only ever played for the first time, like, within the last year or two. Because I was always a Nintendo kid growing up. I had very, very limited access to Sonic and never played any of the Genesis games as a kid. I've done 1 through 3. And each of them... Almost every Sonic game I've played, I made it to the last boss on my first run, and then had to restart the game. So it's almost like I've played each of them twice. That was an embarrassingly early death in the tunnel. I usually do really well at this part. Sorry, I can't really pull my eyes away from the screen at the moment. I think I see Zinchan down there, though. Hey, great to have you with us, friend. Welcome in, Zinchan. I always forget about that one. I always forget about that one in the middle. I've enjoyed every Sonic game I've played on the Genesis. I've found it to be pretty enjoyable. I've definitely found them to be kind of tough, but I've really liked playing all of them except for 3D Blast. Sonic 3D Blast was abysmal. Alright, nice. We only lost 1 life in the tunnel, so that's good. For some reason, I have much more fond memories, but that was more brutal than I expected. I haven't beaten Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I think we've done... Yeah, I did. So I've done Sonic 1, 2, and 3. And I've done Sonic 3... and I've done Sonic and Knuckles. But putting them together for Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I tried that once. I underestimated how hard it was going to be. It started off fun, but it kind of quickly got to the point where it was way harder than what I was up for that day. So I didn't make it through, and it didn't go very well. I'm gonna have to catch up with that one. Zinshan says, when I beat Sonic 1 for the first time, I screamed. In joy or agony. Enjoy. I don't blame you. I don't blame you, Zinshan. I think Sonic 1 is my favorite of them, too. I mean, having only played each of them once, that opinion's not super well formed, like most of my opinions, but I think I had the best time with Sonic 1, which I understand to be kind of atypical, but you know me, Agent Frownie, ever the hipster. Going against popular wisdom at every chance. Agent hipster. It's the best combo, but you really need to get a perfect save. That's all I will divulge. Oh, Sonic 3 and Knuckles? I'd like to go back through the Sonic games and try to get all of the Chaos Emeralds. I would definitely like to try that challenge. Because on each of them that I've played through, I've only gotten like 2, maybe 3 Chaos Emeralds in each of the game. So to get all of them, I think that'd be worth going for. But that's probably down the line. Now I'm not sure which one I played last night. I thought it was regular 3, maybe not. I wish I got all the emeralds in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Zinshan says. Yeah, I'd like to give it a try. I'm really bad though. I'm really bad at the Sonic bonus stages in each of the games. Something about Sonic bonus games, my brain is not made for them. Sonic 2's bonus gets easier over time. 3's, I have to do fast or I get dizzy. Yeah, I could see that. It's like the 3 is the one where it almost looks like mode 7, right? Oh, run. I mean, this is foolishly bold of me to say, but I feel like the first like 4 stages of this game, stages 1 through 4, I'm pretty confident at stages 1 through 4 now for Battletoads. Stage 6, I feel good about. Even stage 7, I feel good about. Stage 5, I do not. And stage 8, I do not. But 1 through 4, 6, and 7, I feel good about all these stages. Ah. What's the punishing aspect about this game? Oh man, Battletoads, just all of it. It's got a lot of places where like that tunnel section earlier where I was riding the motorcycle around the like walls and stuff. It's got a lot of areas like that where you ride vehicles through obstacle courses really fast. The platforming is like forces you into a lot of like sort of tight corridors, and it's one of those games where like there are a lot of things that can one-hit KO you, like these spikes and getting flattened by enemies. And it's one of those games where like you get in situations where like if enemies start to hit you, they can sort of stun lock you with combos that drain your health away real fast. You really like it's a game where you have to keep playing it and really like get the levels down in order to progress through them smoothly. Because if you don't move through them kind of smoothly, you won't move through them at all. And this every level starts to throw at you a new kind of obstacle. So like it's got a lot of variety to it. This stage here is my worst stage, like easily. Hands down. I do worse here than I do anywhere else in the game so far. The control on this surfboard, the like skipping over water movement, is really bizarre. Oh no. And this part isn't even really bad. The bad part. There are two of this section on this level, and the second one is the area of the game that I find kind of impossible. Like it drains. If I don't make it through on the first time, it tends to end up just draining all of my continues. Space Invaders. I don't know if I've ever seen I can't think of another game where enemies attack your health bar directly like that. To fly up to the top of the screen and start taking squares out of my health bar is a really dirty move. Alright, here we go. You might get to see, this boss is a pretty good example. If this guy starts to hit you, he usually doesn't stop until your life is gone. So the thing is, like, because he's, like, big and heavy and he shakes the screen when he jumps, I expected him... Oh no, quick, get up. Alright, good, we're okay. Woo, I got real lucky there. I expected him to be one of those things. I'm doing, oh, never mind. I need thy stick. There we go. I expect him to be one of those things where, like, you have to jump because, like, he'll paralyze you if you're on the ground when he touches the ground. I assumed that was the way he operated when I first fought him, and so I kept needlessly jumping all the time. So they kind of actually missed an opportunity there, but I think they know because there's another boss later on that does paralyze you with his jumps. So they were just saving it for later. Looks like Master Splinter's older, more angry sister. Maybe. Maybe, I don't know. I just assume. I don't know what they... Sister, brother, could be. Could be either. Arkanoid Addict, welcome in. Good to see you. Welcome to some Battletoads. I'd like to be smiling. I'm not smiling right now. Here we go. I'll be smiling again if we make it through this part. The obstacles in this part are random. And they like to be underneath you when you make your jumps. At least for me, they do. Nice, one up. The ramp didn't work. I've made it to stage 9. I made it to part of stage 9 where the gears start to chase you through the tubes. I haven't figured that part out yet. That's my PB is making it to the gears. I got there just last night for the first time, so I'm hoping to match that. I'm hoping to pass it. I'm hoping to make it to stage 10. Yeah, it's pretty tricky, but I mean, I'm guarded. I have guarded optimism. Alright, here we go. Come on, just don't die. Just don't die. The finish line's right ahead. You get 3 continues, I think. I don't know if you can... Don't remember if you can earn extra ones or not. You can definitely earn extra lives. I rely on them. Hey Frownie, odd question. Have you played PlayStation 2 games? Oh, sorry. On the stream? And what do you use to stream them? I have played PlayStation 2. What have I played? We did Silent Hill 2. I use a PlayStation 2. I use the same capture dongle for every composite output system. So everything from the NES up to the Wii, I just have a capture device that's like a USB dongle that takes composite in. It's all very simple, all very minimal, low tech at a, well, maybe not low tech, but cheap tech at Frownie HQ. Oh, I missed your question before. Have I played Sonic CD? I have not, Zinchan. I don't have the CD add-on for the Genesis. They're very difficult, though, Frownie, for everyone, I think. Thank you, Sparrow. I missed that before, too. Let me... If I missed a comment in the chat, I mean, apologies, my friends. I definitely want to read what you have to say. Sounds like my kind of game, Nato said. They put the best music on the pause screen, so if you have to pause, at least it's a real treat. Definitely gets the job done. My setup is sometimes too complicated. I have an HDMI to PS2 and an Elgato, and sometimes it cuts on loading screens, so I was wondering how Frownie does it since it's so fluid. Yeah, no HDMI for me. I do have so for anything that's HDMI, I have a separate dongle. I have two dongles. One is for composite and one is for HDMI. But the HDMI one I only use for the Switch and the C64 Mini. I don't upscale or convert any of the older consoles. I just capture the composite. So we don't get super we don't get super pretty game footage. I mean, I'm playing my games on a CRT anyway, though, right? I can't give you guys higher quality game footage than I'm looking at. The viewers don't get a better picture quality than the streamer. You guys gotta know what it's like for me. Actually, my CRT is a little damaged, so if I really wanted it to make it look for you like it does for me, I would have to put a slight tilt on the picture. my picture on my monitor is very slightly tilted. And dusty. You know it, with some fingerprints. And welcome in Even Odd Prime. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. Oh yeah, I play on a CRT television, Natto. Let's see. He said Zinchan is very likely having a refresh rate sync issue. I ran my stuff through a RetroTink. It's pretty good about not losing sync, but once in a while I have a small blurb. And you know, Zinchan, when I play C64, when I play Commodore games with the C64 Mini, I also have an issue of I do have an issue of the capture failing. Sometimes the capture footage just goes to like those rainbow colored bars. And really the only way that I have to fix that is by just unplugging stuff and plugging it back in and turning stuff off and turning it back on. Usually once it gets going, usually I only have that problem at the beginning, though. Once it gets going, the longer it goes without freezing up, the less likely it is to freeze up. But I do have that issue, but I don't have a fix for it other than just crude, you know, unplug, unplug, plug back in, switch off, switch on, cross your fingers. I'm refraining from making something out of this, Frownie, Sparrow says. It's hard to improve on perfection, you see. Sparrow is the devil on my shoulder. For anyone who doesn't know, Sparrow sits on my shoulder and whispers into my ear that my setup, that I could have so much better picture quality. He whispers, "Think about how good your frame rate could be." And and things like this. Oh, that was in reference to the pause music. We were talking about video quality, and I... Yeah, I'm too much of a tech snob. I mean, you could accuse me of being an originalist snob just as easily. I'm very attached to the old. I'm very attached to the look and feel of the old hardware. And for the most part, with like really old games like this, I'm really attached to the refresh rate of the CRT television. I feel like with every sort of setup that I've tried to do that connects an older console to a modern TV, it inserts new input lag into the mix that I am just not capable of adapting to. My CRT feels much more responsive to me than any sort of flat screen TV. So that's mostly it. The refresh rate of the screen and the feel of the original controllers are the things that, like, because I can't really get those. I can't really get those in an upgraded or an emulation type scenario. They keep me stuck to the original hardware. That last jump to get out of this level is madness. Thank you for the wheels, Inchan. Let me clear off a spot on the next stage and we'll get right to that. I think we're safe to stand still here. And we'll give a spin of the wheel. Alright, let me rewind here. I want to again catch up with the chat. I'll try it on composite and see. It might be an Elgato thing, since the newer one doesn't like 480i. Yeah, my I don't know, so I don't have any experience with the Elgato hardware either. I love your retro display though. Thank you, Zinshan. Frownie, actually, I bet that CRT is not so bad. I kind of want a CRT again, but I can't while I'm in Japan. Oh, yeah. They're good to have. When the sun hits the CRT just right. Well, you see, that's the thing. That's the benefit of being in the basement. So I don't have that problem down here. The evil sparrow on my shoulder. Sparrow just wants what's best for me. He wants me to have the finest things, which I don't find to be evil at all. I'm too much of a tech snob to do what you're doing, Frownie, but I totally dig what you're doing. Gives me the retro vibe for sure. Thank you, Nato. Thank you. Think I caught everything there. CRT is the way to go for anything 480 and below. Capture PS2 via component video into a RetroTink. 5x 5x HDMI out to the Elgato. Makes my head spin. Alright, so... Speaking of spinning, the Wheel of Scorchin. This is a wheel that's got 5 hot sauces on it. And we're going to give it a spin, and I'm going to sample whatever it lands on. Some are quite mild, and some are as hot as ghost pepper. Oh, that was a bad one. We won't finish that spin. That was embarrassing. Come on, wheel. You can do better than that. There we go. Hey, but it's a good thing I respun. I got the mildest sauce. The green sauce. So this is these are Melinda's brand sauces. I'd never had them before, but Melinda's green sauce, that's the way to go. Yeah, the currently the wheel, they're all Melinda's brand. The wheel's sort of a new fixture of the stream, so the selections will become more interesting and more devastating as the months pass. But for now, we start off pretty simple. This is a delicious sauce. Melinda's green sauce. I can't recommend it highly enough. It's got a delicious flavor, and it's wonderful on seafood. Oh, Sparrow said 100% true, and I love you for it, my friend. I definitely, I like to give you a little bit of grief, but I definitely appreciate you looking out for me, always. Thank you for the good luck wishes, even odd. Is the back of the wheel weighted so you never have to try anything but mild? If only I were so devious. It would save me a lot of trouble. It's certainly not. No skeleton. So Isaac, yeah, Isaac's not... The plan was actually to set Isaac up next to me on the on the other seat here, and he probably will join me at some point. I just haven't brought him in here because I have a lot of junk on the floor off to my left. And I don't need Isaac getting in my way right now. So he's chilling. He's actually chilling on a box in the other room. I can see his legs through the doorway. So I know he's not getting up and moving around. But he'll be back. He'll be back. Who needs on-screen digital wheel when you have a physical wheel like the Wheel of Fortune? Oh, that's me, Nato. I'm a Luddite. Like that's what I do. I have physical things. I'm as low tech as I can be. crude caveman style. Analog, there we go. If there's an analog way to do something, I will find it. What about rotary phones? I love the feel of turning the dial on a rotary phone. I actually one time I'm the kind of guy. I googled rotary cell phones one time. I was trying to find myself a cell phone with a rotary dial. They do exist, but they didn't seem to be worth it. But somebody asked you if you ever owned one. We had a rotary dial in my house when I was a kid. We had a rotary phone in the kitchen, and we had a touch tone in my parents' bedroom at some point. My grandparents definitely did. I'm accused of being a Luddite for doing my DJing with turntables still, so I am right at home here. I love that you have turntables, Sparrow. Don't ever get rid of those. Don't ever upgrade. Don't ever upgrade. It would be a terrible downgrade. Can't remember if your parents had a rotary phone. Maybe not. Yeah, we definitely had one. Because I remember needing to call in for something where like touch tone was required and having to use the phone in my parents' bedroom for that. So I know we had the rotary phone in the kitchen for a long time. Oh no! No! I respawned on the wrong side of the screen and jumped to my death. This game is bogus. Definitely remember using them for sure. We had the old rotary phone when we first moved into our first home. Actually, that reminds me when we moved into this house, we had a big estate sale to get rid of the the stuff from Jelly's grandparents who had lived here before, and one of the items that we sold at the sale was a rotary phone, and while we were sitting out there, Jelly was showing it to children while they wandered around the cell and asking them if they could figure out how to dial a number on it. Well, first asking them if they knew what it was, and then asking them to figure out how to dial a number on it. And it's not so intuitive if you didn't grow up with one. It was 1988. I was about 3. Must have had it until the mandatory change to tone dialing, about 93. I don't remember when that was. Crank yankers must have made no sense to kids who didn't grow up with it. Is that a reference to the rotary phone? I guess it is. No kidding now. Kids definitely don't know about that stuff. No touch capacitive screens there. It's just, it's really, it's really interesting, like the tech like that you take for granted. Oh, we have a 0 life. Okay, good. The rotary is the crank. I never thought about the meaning of the name. All right, I gotta focus in. I don't have any lives to lose. And I lost one. Basically immediately. Oh, that's sad. All right, from the top. Yeah, I think that's what Sparrow was talking about. I think that's one and the same. Ooh, I didn't get a running start. Yeah, I assumed it, to be a reference to like the expression like yanking your chain, but I didn't think about it being a cross of that expression with a reference to a rotary phone. It's actually quite clever. And the alleged random dialing. Yeah. we thought just alike. It's a shame because they always give you health right after those guys come in on the rocket ships. And I always lose a life to them, so the extra health doesn't mean much to me. I was expecting the wrong thing. Oh no! Why am I doing so bad? The Defiant Salem, welcome in. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're doing alright tonight. Think I see Turbo Tunnel get paralyzed with fear of bad memories. This is a Turbo Tunnel Part 2, the Inferno. It's just... Ooh, it's just as it's just as bad, if not worse. It's a game for children. It's a game for children, and it's so terribly difficult. Oh, thank you, Sparrow. Yeah, I can do that. Let's see how this, well, that's still maybe a little. I thought I muted that. Alright, let's see if this does any better. That kick drum is so good considering it's coming from the NES. I'm okay. I'm okay. I just had a little tickle in my throat. I can't beat level 9. Level 9 is the best I've done. I've only ever made it to level 9. This is all this is still part of my ongoing quote unquote first playthrough. I've been working on it every night this week. And yeah, level 9 is the best I've done yet. I made it there for the first time last night. I'm doing abnormally bad and on this stage though. Stage 7 hasn't, you know, since the first time I beat stage 7, it hasn't given me this much trouble. Tonight, it's really ruining me. Can't get too complacent with Battletoads. Oh no, I missed the one up. Ooh, I went the wrong way. It's so fast. You kind of have to memorize it. It's really hard to react to it. Hey, but we did it. Hooked up the PlayStation 2 to the AV to HDMI. It works with no issues. Right on, Zinshan. Finish line collision is such a great touch. Thank you for the trophies. I think memorization is a huge part of many retro games. All too true. So I definitely don't expect to make it through this stage in a single life, but, you know, stranger things have happened, right? Harmony of Dissonance is annoying. I haven't played that one. I'm not super big on the Metroid style Castlevania games. The quote-unquote Metroid-style ones. I really like the classic platformers a lot more myself. I've played a couple of the Metroidvanias, though. And to be fair, I really like Order of Ecclesia. I like that one quite a bit. I played Symphony of the Night and Circle of the Moon as well. Circle of the Moon I really enjoyed, but I don't think I finished. And Symphony of the Night, again, I enjoyed it. I played it on the stream for the first time, I think last year, year before. I don't remember exactly. And, yeah, I didn't like it, you know, the same way that people who played it when it was new did, but I could see, like, if I hadn't already played other games that did a lot of what it does, then it would have been a much more, like, probably magical experience for me, too. Are you not interested in Metroid games, Frownie? No, I'm extremely interested in Metroid games, Natto. If the Metroidvania games were more like Metroid, I would like them way more. They're not enough like Metroid for me. They add all the RPG stuff into it, and I don't really care for like experience and leveling systems in games. I like character progression, but I like it more in the Super Metroid or Link to the Past style, where character progression is a reward of exploration accomplished in the world, where you get like heart containers and item upgrades rather than, you know, repeatedly grinding enemies for increased numbers. That's those background CRT white noise textures look crazy real. I was calling it a barber pole effect, Sparrow says. It seems to be worse in levels like this. Oh. You know what, Sparrow? I don't even think I noticed. I didn't even catch what you were really talking about. You mean the screens in the background there. I thought you were talking about... I thought you were having some sort of visual effect from the scrolling object on the left-hand side of the screen. I misunderstood what you were talking about. Yeah, I mean, that's basically just CRT static. You love Castlevania 1, 3, 4, Rondo of Blood, Bloodlines, and Dracula X. So, yeah, I haven't played all of those yet, Salem, but I'm definitely there with you. I really like Castlevania, so I love Castlevania 1 on the NES. I love Castlevania 64. I love Castlevania Bloodlines. Those might be my top 3. Castlevania 4, I don't like as much. I think I would like it more if it weren't a Castlevania game, but I don't like how they changed up the like gameplay formula so much. I don't like the better jumping, and I don't like the overpowered whip and the gigantic sprites of Castlevania 4. It's a mostly like really good looking game, and it has an amazing soundtrack, and it's got really cool stuff in it, but like when it comes to like a Castlevania game, I like what I get out of Bloodlines more than what I get out of Castlevania 4. I don't feel like I'm playing as much I don't feel like I'm getting as much Castlevania out of number 4 as I do out of the other ones. Haven't been able to beat Castlevania 1 yet, only finished 4 so far. You'll get there if you just stick with it. Makes sense. I totally get that. Castlevania 1 I love though. Castlevania 1 I've done I managed to do a damageless run a couple months ago. So I'm really proud of that. And I've done whip only deathless. No way I'm doing damageless on that. There's some sort of flickering happening here though, right? You can see it on the hearts. I don't know. It's difficult for me to see what you see in the capture. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's like a... Okay, I get what you're talking about, Sparrow. I had to blow my screen up to see it. But yeah, you're right. The hearts at the top of the screen definitely are flickering. Hey, Angelus. Welcome in. Thank you for the raid. A pleasure to have you here, and great to have your friends with you, too. Thank you for coming along. Let's get a... Can we get a shout-out for Angelus? Tell us about your stream, my friend. What were you up to? Thank you, Sparrow. How did it go for you? I'm a little behind in the chat. I'm trying to take a moment to get caught up. Sorry I paused so much. I'm pausing so much here. I'm a slow reader. You were talking about the monitors in the game. It's pretty stylish. You love the ones with the RPG elements? A lot of people do. I feel like I'm in the minority opinion to prefer to not care for those ones as much. Yeah, I did a damageless run. It took a while to get there. Thought that was part of the CRT conversion. Yeah, it probably is. I mean, I get it on my screen, but it's actually clearer in the capture. I see the barber pole effect on the whole screen, but I think that's likely a side effect of capturing from composite. It's probably because of the... It's probably because of a slight desync, I would guess, between the interlace scan, the interlace line scanning and the converter, the capture, grabbing it and converting it. I don't know. I think I know what it results from, but I don't have the tech knowledge to articulate it. And I'm probably only close to right. Nightmare of Decay was going good until I encountered these tough enemies in a small room, had very little ammo, didn't want to try it with a knife. Sounds like a scary situation to find yourself backed into, Angelus. Sync issues. A lot of fancy words there. Like C-Sync, you hear that term a lot with retro consoles. Yeah, I'm not super tech literate. Castlevania 1, 3, Super, Dracula X, Bloodlines. Rondo of Blood, Symphony of the Night, Aria of Sorrow, Harmony of Dissonance, Circle of the Moon, Castlevania The Adventure, Belmont Revenge, Chronicles Legends are my favorite Castlevania games, but 2 on the NES is an abomination. I don't think 2 is that bad. It's not that good, but it's not that bad. There are things to like about it. But it's not great. Chronicles is one I probably need to play again at some point. Castlevania Chronicles is so hard. And I definitely need to play... I mean, I need to play all of them again. They're so good. It doesn't matter how much I played them. I need to play them all anyway. So I learned that this guy here, you can actually catch him when you're in the air and give him another punch. But you gotta watch out because you run the risk of him stepping on you. He's so tough. If he shoots you once, that's basically it. He's timed so that he'll knock you down every time you try to get back up. Oh, he's brutal. I love that one has to go all over the map and get clues and unlock paths with items. Yeah, I mean, it's not, you know, it's not tightly, it's not, like, that's what I like about, you know, I like the platformer style Castlevanias. Like, it's fun, like the Metroid, you know, the Metroidvanias, it's fun to have, like, a big open world to explore and to move around and find keys for doors and that kind of stuff. Like, I like all that about it. It's really mostly just the RPG stuff that I don't like about them. The experience and levels and items and stuff like that, I think, aren't really what I'm interested in. Not really what I'm interested in a game. But I do like the wandering around and exploring aspect of them. But, like, with the classic Castlevanias, like, what I really want out of them is, like, sort of like a tightly designed sort of obstacle course to run. Which you don't really get in the more exploratory type games. Yeah, that guy, I have beaten him. I have beaten him once. I know he's defeatable. But you know what? I'm just not gonna mess with that thing. Robbed! My weapon went right through that blob. Twice. It wasn't until recently that I could play the Game Boy Castlevania games. So Castlevania the Adventure, I used to speedrun that game. It's the only game I've ever done speedruns of. I wasn't ever particularly great. I think my highest rank was 4th on the leaderboard. But it's a very small leaderboard. I didn't have to beat out very many people to get there. And I think I'm probably like 6th or 7th now. I think I've fallen down. I haven't run it in a very long time. But it was fun while I did it. So I think pretty highly of the adventure. I've only played Belmont's Revenge once though. And I remember thinking it was good, but you know, like so many, I need to spend more time with it. And Legends I haven't played yet. I use a whip in Elden Ring for reasons. Stares at Simon and Trevor. Nice. Those puffs of air that I'm avoiding there are one-hit kill. They're very nasty. You made me drop my stick. Yuck. The thing I'm happier about from my speedrunning, though, of Castlevania The Adventure, and it actually doesn't have much to do with the speedrun either. The more interesting thing about it is not that I ever did very well in my runs, because I didn't, but that there's actually a trick in the run named for me. Which is called the Frownie drop. But I actually quote unquote discovered that before I even speedran the game. That was something that I was doing during my first playthrough of it, and as a casual, trying to clear it for the first time. And the world record holder for the game happened to be in the stream and saw me doing it, and it blew his mind. And so he named the trick after me, even though I wasn't doing it on purpose. Yeah, there's certainly poisonous gas clouds of some type. We were doing well. I thought I was going to have that guy. He was moving fast, which means he'd been damaged a lot, but no good. Hey Greg, welcome in. Greg's Retro Channel, always good to have you here, friend. Battletoads is going alright. I'm struggling with Stage 8 again. My beating Stage 8 one time did not make me a master of it. But we have been making it to the boss, which is good. Oh! I didn't think that could hit me up there. What an ugly game. Well, we died right next to the 1-up, so it's not really that big of a deal. Oh, but if I can pretty consistently make it to the boss, that's really good for us, because that means there's only a small part of the level I have to get better at. Uh-oh. Whoa, I thought that was over. Oh no, I gotta be careful here. Sometimes if you just stand here, these enemies will remove themselves from existence, like that. One of them pretty much always will. The other one is inconsistent. That's alright. One of them's not so bad to jump around. Remove themselves from existence. Never played this game, but I've heard it's brutal in two-player mode. It's more brutal in two-player mode than it is in single-player. I don't know that I will. Don't know that I'll get to experience that. I tend to run solo in my gaming most of the time. While I could, in theory, get Jelly to play with me, she doesn't get as much practice at gaming as I do. How modern of gaming do you have interest in? I mean, I'll play stuff. I have a Switch. I'll play stuff on the Switch every now and then. But I'm not, outside of Nintendo stuff, I'm not often interested in more modern games. The PlayStation 2 is generally my cutoff, with a few exceptions. Like I'm playing Dark Souls right now. I'd like to play the Dead Space games. I've played a bit of Far Cry 3 and enjoyed the time I spent with it. But there are not a whole lot of exceptions to my interest primarily being retro. I mean, it's hard to explain, like, what the reasons are. I guess I like 2D games better than 3D games in a lot of ways. I like platformers. You don't find as many sort of platformers among modern games anymore. Modern games are mostly are more shooters than anything, like, overwhelmingly. And at some point, like, games become more and more bogged down with cutscenes and story segments and stuff like that. And I'm really not interested in watching games. I'm interested in playing them. Like, for the most part, when cutscenes play, like, it very quickly becomes time wasted for me. If I wanted to watch a game play itself, I'd watch a movie and not play a game. So, like, those kind of things disinterest me. I don't mind a bit of story in a game. It's not like I hate every bit of story that ever happens in games, but I don't need a whole lot of it. I need brevity and, like, cleverness. And, like, some sort of, like, twist is appreciated, but twists are appreciated, but I don't need anything, wordy and goes on and on and on. And the quote-unquote spectacle of, watching, like, watching, like, action movie cutscenes and stuff like that in a video game is really not interesting to me, because none of it is real, right? Like, it's not... To watch the protagonist of a video game, like, hang from a cliff or watch a high-speed car chase or something play itself out in a video game cutscene. It's like, it's a cartoon. Like, there's nothing. That's just not interesting for me. I'd rather play out those kind of moments. And the retro games, of necessity, you more often have to play out the set pieces and stuff because they couldn't play a lot of movies for you. So there's a lot of that. I can't. I shudder at the thought of video games that are hand-holdy, or that are walking simulators, or just series of press X to do the thing type things. None of that stuff is interesting to me. That's why, like, among modern games, like, from what I'd heard of Dark Souls, I kind of knew that I was going to love it, and I do love it, because Dark Souls never wastes my time with story sections. It has it has a few very short cutscenes every now and then to, like, punctuate a big event, but they're very brief. It doesn't explain or tutorialize, right? It just throws you in the world, and, like, there's depth and lore and stuff like that you could study and read for hours and hours and hours, but you don't have to learn any of that stuff. You can just run around with an axe in your hand and fight monsters, and that's all I want to do. I want the game to shut up and let me fight some monsters. So I love that. So there are modern games that I know I would like, but, like, so far as, like, AAA games that are, like, you know, where the development team put a lot of money into making really big, elaborate cutscenes to impress people, and then they have to make the game really easy and obvious, so that they can make sure everyone makes it to those cutscenes so they can see all the money they spent. I don't know. It's not for me. Angela says Steam has tons of indie games that would interest you because they're like throwbacks to the good old days. I bought tons of games because they say you like Mega Man, you'll like this. Yeah, which is why I bought Shovel Knight. Indie stuff is appealing to me. I don't play games on Steam though, because I don't play games on my computer. I only have one computer, and it's a pretty low-tech laptop. And I don't play games. I stream so much. I don't really play games off stream very, very much at all. And I'm not going to try and run a stream and a game on my laptop at the same time. That would be a horrible, confusing mess. So there's really no reason for me to, like... I'm just... consoles are more convenient for me and my lifestyle. I do know I'm missing out, though. Because, like you said, I do know you can get tons of games on Steam, and you can get them dirt cheap sometimes. But, so maybe someday I'll get a nice PC, and I'll pick up a whole bunch of indie games. But for now, the retro consoles serve me well. I kind of want to make another run at this. It's going to eat into our Contra time, but I think we should do it anyway. Tend to have lost interest in streaming PC games, Nato says. Streaming consoles is much less hassle, in my opinion. I may be in the minority on that one. I would do it if I had two computers. If I could run a game on one computer and then capture it and have my streaming software open on another, like I do, basically like how I play my consoles, then, like, that would be fine. But I wouldn't want, like, all the, like, tabbing back and forth between windows and hoping my laptop doesn't melt from trying to run too many things at the same time. I don't want any of that sort of difficulty. And you know, I'm in a lucky situation. I bought a bunch of retro stuff back in the 90s when it was super cheap. I built up a collection, you know, going to yard sales and thrift stores and, you know, getting games for dollars and quarters and stuff. And I've never gotten rid of anything. So I have a very nice physical retro collection. So I should use it, right? What's the point of having all this stuff if I never use it for anything? Oh, losing a life on the first stage is unacceptable. Yeah, the Steam Deck, you know, I may at some point, if that continues to be a thing, if that's something that they keep making and improving on, and the, you know, costs come down and stuff like that, I might pick up one of those at some point, because that would, you know, I could run the video out and capture it and just treat it like a console. That would work real well for me. But further down the line. Exactly, the tabbing and other system stuff makes it annoying in my experience. Yeah, I wouldn't want to deal with any of that headache. I like the way I'm operating currently. What are your thoughts on more modern retro stuff like the Mister or the analog systems? I think those kind of things are great. I might even at some point, you know, look into getting sort of a Mister type thing. Like it would be sort of like that or the Steam Deck to sort of unlock, you know, libraries that I don't have the resources to build up a collection of. Like that kind of stuff seems great. I don't have I don't have any real hands-on experience with any of it. And it probably wouldn't serve very well as a replacement for most of the retro stuff for me, because again, like I'm attached to a lot of the way that the old things feel. But I do think that it's fantastic that these sort of options exist, especially for people who aren't picky about the kind of things that hold me up. To have ways to access games that are becoming more and more inaccessible. And, you know, and I myself, you know, would like to use those kind of things for things that I haven't been able to get a hold of before. Especially if they make a Mister with composite video out. That's what I want. Give me a Mister I can plug into my CRT. Hey, there you go. Oh, excellent. You do. Hey, that's what I want. That's what I want. but I'm not in a rush. Like I said, I have a lot of physical games, so I got a lot of stuff to get through before I'm really heavily in need of adding to my of adding much to my setup. I'm thinking that I'd probably be most interested in just getting some flash cards for my consoles. I think so far as like big ticket items that I add into my setup, I'm pretty much set on trying to pick up some flash cards later on this year. Yeah, like an EverDrive card or something. I don't have a particular one in mind, but something like that. Hey Tusk, welcome in. Good to see you, my friend. No, I don't. I don't have any EverDrive carts yet, but that's what I was just talking about. I'd like to pick something like that up. Got an EverDrive for my NES, SNES, N64, and GBA. Nice, nice. Yeah, I'd like to get all those at some point. We'll get there. We'll get there, Tusk. Tuesday, I'll be playing a game for the NES that really wants to be Castlevania, but instead of a whip, you have a really dinky sword and a bird companion. What game is this, Angelus? There are a couple wannabe Castlevania games that come to my mind, but I don't know any of them well enough to be able to pick up on what you're describing. Eight Eyes, and that one I don't know. I hope it works out well for you. I haven't really heard many good things about most of the wannabe Castlevania games, right? Like there's a Frankenstein game and there's Holy Diver that are kind of like Castlevania-like, but people don't have a lot of good things to say about those. Holy Diver, I think I would like. I know it's pretty janky and terribly difficult, but I mean that's everything I play, so what of it? You played the Frankenstein game, it was bad. Have you played Bloodstained? I have played Bloodstained, Tusk. I like that game. I like that game a lot. I thought it was really cool. It was interesting because it's very similar to Order of Ecclesia, which I really love. And so I kept thinking about that game a lot while I played Bloodstained, because it does a lot of things similarly and a lot of things different. And, you know, I like Order of Ecclesia more still, but I can see, well, at the time, I probably couldn't tell you anything now because it's been years since I played it. But I felt like at the time I could have told you things that I saw about Bloodstained that were definitely improvements. I'd like to play the platformers, the Bloodstained platformers. I haven't played those yet, so we'll do those on the stream sometime. Gotta head to bed, Frownie, so I'm gonna lurk. While I head to bed, take care, good luck, and have fun. Thank you, Zinshan. I appreciate you spending some time with us tonight, my friend. Thank you for the lurk, and I hope you sleep well. Have a great weekend. No. Ah! We almost made it through in one life. What am I doing? Come on. This isn't that hard. I lost 2 lives there. That's awful. Tuesday says, got a time for me to bounce. Good luck, Frownie. Have a great weekend, Tuesday. Thank you for your company. Always very much appreciated. Angela says, 8 Eyes came out in America, but there is a Japanese version, most likely. Yeah, I don't know anything about 8 Eyes myself. Don't think I've ever seen anything from it. Sorry for being so late, Tusk says. No worries, no need to apologize. I'm happy to have you here whenever I can get you, my friend. Early, late, anywhere in between. Want to keep everything on the stream a very, very low pressure zone, right? Attend at your leisure, support, you know, at your desire. And you'll get nothing but gratitude from me. If I could get my Japanese level up, I'd like to play more Japanese retro games. I think we all dream about that to a degree, right? Unlocking a whole world of games by overcoming that language barrier. My Japanese should be better living in Japan for 4 years. Well, now that you mention that, I knew you lived over there. I didn't know how long you'd been over there. I lived in Korea for 2 years. I learned how to sound out the alphabet, but that's nothing because the Korean Hangul, you can learn to sound out Hangul phonetically in like 30 minutes. Their alphabet is beautifully designed. It's very, very readable. But like so far as actually like the meaning of the words, I think I learned hello, thank you, the numbers, and that's it. I learned a bunch of foods. And by a bunch of foods, I mean I learned like 2 or 3 things that I really like to eat. My language acquisition was dismal. What? How am I falling on those spikes over and over again? That spike I get. That spike's tough. Those other spikes are not even a real obstacle. The Korean alphabet's so much simpler than Japanese. Japanese is crazy once you start getting into kanji. Yeah. Oh yeah, the Korean alphabet is beautiful. It has, I mean, the advantage of it is that it's like, you know, so far as I understand, you know, like it's it's an artificially constructed alphabet, right? It's like it was made, the Korean alphabet was like set down and designed on purpose. Like, it's not, you know, like a lot of, you know, alphabets for most languages are things that come together over the course of hundreds and thousands of years, right? But by happenstance, and the weird clunky process that language goes through. Like, people don't like sit down and think about and put them together. And if we did, we would all have wonderful alphabets like they do in Korea. And not stuff like we have in English where every letter makes 18 different sounds depending on its context. I don't remember the exact I don't remember the like I don't remember the exact origin of it, but I believe like it's the result of like of one of their kings sort of mandating the creation of an alphabet. I'm half remembering something that I learned a decade ago, so don't expect to be educated by me. You get a bunch of very poorly remembered facts. My wife is Japanese, so I should improve someday. I was in Korea for about 2 years. After college, my wife and I we wanted to go somewhere overseas and you know, do some work. We'd actually looked into joining the Peace Corps, but the Peace Corps doesn't accept newlyweds, and we didn't want to wait around, so we found teaching positions in Korea. I think they don't want people. I mean, I get there's a couple things. They don't. I think that they don't want people, you know, signing up to use it as a honeymoon instead of an opportunity to perform service, and you know, like that, like thinking they're going to get a vacation out of it or something. Is probably the one hand. And on the other hand, maybe they're worried that, like, you know, maybe it's stressful enough being a newly married couple without, like, culture shock and a whole bunch of other things on top of it. Yeah, I taught English. Pretty like high level English, so I didn't have to know any you know, I didn't have to know any Korean, because by the time students made it to me, their English was so good that, you know, we could polish their language speaking English only. Everyone is born, and in Korea, everyone is considered 1 year old on their birthday. There's no 0 year. They count they count their time in utero as their first year. Oh, it's just, yeah, their international age is usually considered, you know, it's just 1 year different from their national age. Yeah, we were surprised to find out that policy too, but I mean, I can, like, if I think about it, like, I can think of reasons why it probably exists. I don't know, you know, the true reason, but I can imagine, you know, or maybe they, you know, maybe they just had one newlywed couple that something really terrible happened and ruined it for everybody, right? But it worked out. It worked out. Our time in Korea was really good. That worked out really well for us. Originally thought about coming to Japan that way. In the end, I had a job transfer. Glad I didn't have to be an English teacher here. I heard it's a rough gig. It was all right. It was all right. I mean, I don't know. It's different. A different country. And Korea wasn't that bad. And speaking of people who live overseas, Bella, Jeff is here. Do Nato and Jeff know one another? Beller Jeff also lives in Japan. Except he's a master of the Japanese language. Welcome in, Benkin2. Pleasure to have you with us. Are you winning, son? I'm doing my best, Dad. I'm trying to make you proud. But to be more straightforward, I'm not one yet. I'm trying to beat this game for the first time. And you know, stage 9 is my PB. This is the second attempt tonight. I made it to the boss of stage 8, but he continues to ruin me. I heard the English teacher jobs can be rough in Japan, Nato says. Yeah, I don't know how it's similar or different. In Korea, we worked a lot. We basically only had 2 holidays a year. We got I think it's called Chuseok, which they describe as being like Korean Thanksgiving. And we got either Christmas or New Year's. half of the staff got one of those days for vacation. I mean, we did earn vacation at time, and we're able to use it at some point, but you didn't have time off the way that you do in the States. At least not at our academy. You might get a day, you might be in a situation where you have a day off every week because you don't have any classes on it. But it depends. Jeff says, been here for 4 years doing the English teacher thing as I learn the language. Being an English teacher in Japan is one of the easiest jobs I've ever had, Jeff says. Quite the opposite, then. I'm proud of you, son. Thank you, Benkin. I appreciate you joining us. I hope you're having a great night. I liked the lifestyle of the English teacher job over in Korea, though, right? Because like, I'd wake up at like 2 in the afternoon. I'd go in. I'd teach my first class at, I'd go in at 3, teach my first class from 4. I teach from 4 to 10, and then at about 11 we'd be out, and we just as a group, basically, all the teachers just head out into the city, spend all night in the city. Then the sun comes up, so it's time to go home and go to bed. I love that sort of reverse, that vampire, sleep schedule. Going to sleep when the sun comes up, doing your work and being out all night was a lot of fun. And we were paid pretty handsomely over there. So it was a good time. That's what can happen to you in this fight. You get knocked down, and then he times it so that he steps on you as soon as you get up, and then before you know it, your life is gone. I keep my game audio pretty low, and it can yeah, it can be hard to hear depending on, you know, various factors. What level we're on and stuff, but I always have it naturally pretty low. I don't like the idea to worry that I'm ever trying to struggle to be heard over my over the game. My earlier audio clipping issues aside, I can tend to be quite soft-spoken. But I do appreciate if anything sounds, you know, if anything sounds weird or off, a heads up is always welcome. Because I don't necessarily, you know, I don't necessarily hear exactly what you guys are hearing on your end. I know some people run the monitor of their own microphone into their headset, so they know what they sound like. So they basically hear the same mix that the chat is hearing. But I don't know how you focus on anything with your own voice echoing in your ears. All that does is shut my brain down instantly, and my brain's already not working very well typically. I listen to myself and everything. You do that, Nato? How in the world do you do that? That's how you do it on stage, Tush says? Oh, man. Oh, no, I couldn't do that. I guess I get that, because, like, I have trouble, like, if I've ever had to perform music on stage, I can have trouble being mic'd on stage if I'm hearing myself coming out through the speakers. That can really mess with me. Fortunately, I don't do a lot of on-stage music performance or anything. I've had occasions in my life where it's come up, but it's not something that regularly happens. But when it has, it can really give me a hard time hearing myself come through the speakers. Without in-ears, it's kind of difficult to play music. I shouldn't do bad at this stage. The snakes level is really not that hard. I mean, it's tough until you learn it, but I feel like I've been here enough. I should know it. I do. If I don't, I feel like I have no control or awareness. So I definitely don't have awareness. I do kind of look and watch the levels on the thing. Like, I look at it every now and then. But pretty much I set it and just let it ride myself. and just hope it's sounding okay, or hope that someone will tell me if I've got it set up horribly. That's true. I don't have any alerts or any extra stuff. All it should be, all you should have to deal with, if I had those kind of things, I might need more I might really need more monitoring too. But yeah, we don't do any sound alerts or effects or anything like that. The only things you should ever hear are the game, my voice, and occasionally some music if I'm on a break. The official reason that I don't do any of that extra stuff is that it's in keeping with the laid back and chill nighttime vibe of the stream. Right? I don't want any alarms and whistles and stuff upsetting people who are relaxing and using the stream to fall asleep or to study. Or the unofficial reason is I'm too lazy to set any of that stuff up. I don't want to learn about it or do it or any of that stuff. So we will go for the cozy, comfy, stripped down experience. And I mean, I'm making a little bit of a joke, but also I'm not. I mean, I'm streaming from a room paneled in barnwood with a crocheted quilt thrown over the couch behind me. Like, the quiet, the quiet, comfy vibe is clearly what I'm into. Robbed. I like the unofficial reason. Thank you. I'm glad you approve. I'm never going to get over that ending. I used to play at a local venue with my old band, and when we got the cheapest set of in-ear mics, everything changed, Tess says. I envy your setup. Thank you, Nato. I don't know if I've used 1 or 2 continues. I feel like I've used 2 already, making this a pretty not likely to succeed run. but we will always persevere as if we have a chance. It's not like we had to be perfect, though. We played punk and metal. Sometimes sloppy playing sounded nice. Sloppy playing is pretty much all you get from me if I pick up an instrument. And I'm not much of a punk or metal performer. Whoa. That was scary. Ah! Battletoads is a horror game. I'm more scared playing this than, you know, any Silent Hill or Resident Evil game. Alright, sure, fine. Those may be horror games, but this is a terror game. No, that precious one-up. Who joined us? Subject Omega, welcome in. The stress is real. I'm overwhelmed with it. I'm overwhelmed with stress. The game about toads and mice punching each other to death because a 6-foot woman couldn't mind her own business. I know the character, the villain you're referring to, but I can't tell you I could not tell you the plot of the game. All the cutscenes, the text in the cutscenes goes by way faster than I would ever be able to hope to read. For some reason, just with these retro games, right, and the auto-scrolling text, for some reason the developers just never seem to take my southern drawl into account. I can never keep up. I used to get nervous because we play some folk punk style music and I play the violin. Oh, nice. The violin is something that I've tried to learn. I find it very difficult. You can be bad at the violin and do fine, but you can't play a violin sloppy and be fine. It makes a noise that is ungodly, and nails on the chalkboard sound like a reprieve. Good morning, men. Welcome in. I hope you're feeling fine. All right, up we go. Like yellow card. I'm good. How's the retro goodness treating you this fine morning? Well, I played another level of Taz Munching Madness at the start of the stream, and it was the worst one yet. It was 3 hours of pure agony. And Battletoads, I mean, Battletoads has been not much easier, but a lot more fun. I made it back to the boss of this stage again, but I haven't been able to beat him yet tonight. So we're hoping. Stage 9 is my PB. The furthest I've seen is stage 9, and I'd like to at least make it, you know, make it there again tonight, but in some ways, how well I do is not up to me. I require Battletoads to be merciful to me. You think you might be getting your levels mixed up? Maybe, because I don't actually know what it is that you're referring to, so I think you might have been mentioning something that's further than I've seen. I missed some prime minute misery. Oh well, next time. I still have one level left. We have one level of Munching Madness left, and then I am free from the curse of the Tasmanian Devil. We played, for anyone who hasn't been here, I've played 7 Tasmanian Devil games this month for Jankuary. I don't recommend playing any of them. I've managed to beat kind of all of them except one, maybe we'll say 1.5. One of them was an Atari 2600 game, and those, like, there's not always a way to beat them, right? They tend to loop arcade style. So I give myself maybe a half point for that game. I didn't actually make it anywhere it looped, so maybe I should get no point. I'll give myself no points for that game. And Tasmania on the Super NES, I haven't been able to beat. That game is absurd. But we did 2 on the Game Boy and 2 on the Genesis, and I was able to beat all of those. And I'm about to beat the one on the Game Boy Color. Thank you, Subject. I appreciate the no spoilers approach. That's what we always want around here. Thank you for watching out for me. Only a handful of the 2600 games can be beaten, yeah. Yeah, and since that's one of the things that make 2600 games somewhat unappealing to me. I like the 2600. I have fun with it every time I play it, but when I play games, like, I'm never really interested in score, right? That's not a metric that's really desirable to me typically. I like for a game to have a clear win condition. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll play every kind of 2600 game, but I prefer the ones that have seem to have a satisfying sort of end point for me to reach. It's one of the few good things about E.T. You can say a lot of bad things about that game, but one of the good things, victory. Yes, one of the good things you can say about it is it has a win condition. I like the one on the Genesis. I forget the title. So there's two on the Genesis. One is called Tasmania, and one is called Taz Escape from Mars. And they're actually both decent. If you have to play a Taz game, play one on the Genesis because they're far and away the best. If you can't get those, the ones on the Game Boy are okay. The second one being better than the first. And after that, you don't have much luck. None of them are great, but the Genesis ones are the best ones. But the thing is, like, you have to specify the console because SNES, Game Boy, and Genesis all have a game called Tasmania, and all three of them are completely different. I mean, the Game Boy one and the Genesis one are both platformers, but the Super NES one is weird. It's nothing like any of them. It's like Rad Racer. It's a weird game. And annoyingly difficult. I collect 2600 cards since I'm old 70s and 80s arcade rat. Nice. Your collection is probably way finer than mine. I have a collection of about 50 to 60 2600 games. It's fairly sizable. I don't have a lot of great games for it though. I have a lot of like the sort of, run of the mill type things. All the average stuff that you'd probably find in most people's collection if they have 2600 games. I now wish for a fighting game full of NES characters from beat-em-ups, fighting games, and other things. We need Battletoads for Smash Bros. Is what we need. In my living room, I have a Vader 2600 on my coffee table. There's a notepad filled with personal scores I'm trying to beat. Very nice. Tasmania on Genesis. Have the cart right here. Had to check. Yeah, so that and Escape to Mars. They're pretty similar, those two. They're alright. They're a little frustrating. They're not the most well-polished of platformers, but they're the best of the Taz games I've played. Rad Racer is annoying. It's not really my type of game, Rad Racer, but I have to say I haven't played it very much. I wasn't calling the Tasmania game annoying because it's like Rad Racer. I should clarify. It's like Rad Racer in that you're behind Taz as he runs down the road, and it comes by you with the same sort of visual effect of Rad Racer. Or like Outrun. A lot of people compared it to Outrun. It's visually very similar, but it's very annoying to play. Around 120 carts. Last cart was River Raid 2. I heard River Raid is good. It's a pain to get in good condition. Half of them were my original carts from the 70s and 80s. So I had a 2600 for a time when I was a kid, but I remember nothing about it. I can't tell you a single game that we owned. I remember the console. It was one of those with the wood grain stickers, and we had those paddle controllers for it. So we must have played something like tennis, but I have no memories of ever using it. But I know we had it, but I don't have my childhood one. I bought a replacement like in 2011, I think. I found a good deal on a 2600 with like 40 games or so, and I've just slowly picked up other ones every now and then. Everything from the Super Nintendo forward, I have all of my stuff from childhood. You know, like from early childhood. I mean, technically, I bought my second NES, which is what I have now. I bought my second NES when I was still a child. I was in middle school, but it wasn't the one that I had, like, you know, when I was a real little kid. So I don't think of it the same way. Most people start with the Commodore 64 NES are their first consoles. I'm a tad old. I had the C64. My dad had a C64. That was actually the first way I ever played games. And we had the C64 before the 2600. I think, like, probably my parents got the 2600, so I would stop playing around on the C64 so much. But then we got the NES, and it was basically just all Nintendo stuff for me after that. This is as far as I've been able to make it in this game. For those who are curious, I've made it to that third gear in that water section. If I get past this third gear, I will have hit a new PB. So that's the dream. Dreams come true, we've done it. New PB, here we go. Every step I make is another victory in this game. All right, let me get caught up here. I don't want to miss things people have to say. Nato says, me and my bro got an NES for Christmas, and the two games we got were Mario Brothers and Rad Racer. I liked Rad Racer, but I was bad at it. Still want to try it again. I haven't ever really played it. I've seen, it looks like Outrun, right? I think if it's the game, if I'm thinking of the right game. But I can't really speak to what it's like to play. I don't think I've ever played it. Never had an Atari. I had one of the clones in my case. It wasn't Intellivision, Angela says. Oh, I have an Intellivision. I didn't have it as a kid, but I have one now. The Intellivision is pretty rough. It's not my favorite, I have to say. Probably, you probably look at it more fondly than I do. I imagine some nostalgia really helps. But without that, it's harder for me to get into the Intellivision. The Vader's basically just a wood grain version, but painted black with orange lights. Yeah. It's in mint condition since I purchased it recently. My VCS is in storage. Nostalgia for the win. My dad also had a Commodore 64 and a VIC-20. VIC-20 I've never interacted with. Well, I'm all the way back here, so I have to do what I just did again. I learned about a new set of spikes. That was pleasant. Oh no, am I gonna make it? Oh, you have to be so fast in this game. I just guessed hang to the left. I hope this is good. It wasn't good! This game is evil. Pac-Man Jr. is still the most challenging video game I ever played. It's completely messed up how hard that game is. I haven't tried that one yet. Maybe we should do a night, when we do an Atari night, maybe I should prioritize it. I should play all the Pac-Man games I have. I think I've just got 3, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, and Pac-Man Jr. We've already done Pac-Man on the stream, though. But maybe I should give Pac-Man Jr. a go the next time we do Atari 2600 stuff. It's been a while. I like to try and do Commodore 64 and Atari 2600. I like to try to do each of those about once a month. Have a night where we just play, 4 or 5 games on one or the other of those, but they're a little bit more work to get set up for the stream. Pac-Man, but all the ghosts are faster and come after you like heat-seeking missiles. Help you. I think the Mister would help you in those instances someday down the road. You're just like Sparrow, Natto. Another devil on my shoulder. No, I was hanging left. I didn't hang left early enough, I know, but why punish me, Battletoads? Why be so picky? I like the Pac-Man AI, how the ghosts behave differently. I like Pac-Man 99. I'm not super great at it. I make it to the final 10 almost every time I play Pac-Man 99. I can make it to the final 10. Like, I make it to the top, 5 really often, but to actually win is really tough. My end game in Pac-Man 99 is terrible. I'm trash at finishing it. At bringing home the victory. So I go over here this time. I'm actually swimming now. What music do you enjoy in your free time? So I like beard music. I like music played by a bunch of guys like me that have a bunch of acoustic instruments. You know, there's usually a guitar and a banjo and a fiddle. I like bluegrass. I like sort of folk type stuff. I like singer-songwriter type stuff. I haven't listened to anything new in a while that I like. I've been I've pretty consistently liked stuff from Iron and Wine. I liked the first albums by Mumford and Sons and of Monsters and Men. I haven't really listened to any of their stuff beyond their first records, though. I didn't like what I heard from Mumford's later stuff. I don't really only like the first album, and of Monsters and Men, I just didn't make the time for it. Music about beards. All my music sounds like someone dropped a demon in my blender. Check out Larry and his flask, Tusk says. All right, let me write it down. Do I have? Yeah, I got a notepad over here. I haven't, it's been a while, though, since I've, like, sought out and, like, made time to sit down and listen to, like, really listen to music. Like, find some albums and sit down and listen to them all the way through. Yeah, I'm sorry to say, I haven't enjoyed anything new in a while. These tadpoles, oh my goodness. Aren't we supposed to be on the same side? Oh, I can punch. Alright, we'll punch them. Maybe. If I can find them when they're not being electric. I'm shocked to be able to punch underwater, by the way. Oh no, I'm shocked while I attempt to punch underwater. It despawned. Fine by me. I have to jump over this? The music here sounds like Paperboy. I'm convinced I must play this game. You must, Natto. And when you do, I hope you have an easier time than me. Because I've had it rough. You do have to jump over this. This is disgusting. How am I supposed to make this jump? Oh. All my precious progress. Well, we got a new PB. I made it further than I ever have before. All that we know is a good starting point. Is that for me too, Tusk? Your band recommendation? Well, thank you for the generous assessment, Natto. There's no way I do better than you, like 0%. I appreciate the generous assessment. I hope that you're incorrect, though. I haven't listened to new stuff in such a long time, Natto says. I'm stuck in 1985 with Bowling for Soup, Natto says. With Spotify on everyone's phone, it's easy for me to listen to music all day long, to be honest. Thank you for the congrats. Thank you for the GGs on the PB. An attempt was made and so was progress. This is true. This is true. Great job. You made progress, which is the main thing, Angela says. I appreciate all the generous assessment, a man of humble words. I appreciate, all the sort of positive outlook there. We will go for a little bit longer tonight. Everything has taken a bit longer than I expected, but I'm not quite out of energy, my friends. I did promise some Contra, so I'm gonna step away for a moment to switch the game out, and we'll make a run through Contra and Super C. At least, maybe we'll also do Contra 3. Let's see how quickly we make it through the other two, though. But thank you for being here with me. It's been great. It's been great having your company tonight. I'm very grateful to have such fine folks with me. And yeah, if you're interested in Contra, just stand by. It'll only take a couple moments.